Hi friends, this is Dana from Giggle Wiggle Storytime, and I'm here today to read to you an awesome book. It is called The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. I know we all know the story about the three little pigs as told by the three little pigs, but I don't think many of us know the story of the big bad wolf and the three little pigs as told by Alexander T. Wolf. So today we're going to find out his side of the story. And this is a wonderful book by our friend John Scieszka and illustrated by Lane Smith. So let's dig into this juicy book and find out all about the three little pigs as told by Alexander T. Wolf. The true story of the three little pigs. Everybody knows the story of the three little pigs. Or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard of my side of the story. I am the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault that we eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. That looks like a real juicy cheeseburger. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing, it's all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. A sneeze plus sugar. This is the real story. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold and I ran out of sugar. Oh, he was sure making a mess making this cake for his granny. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now, this neighbor was a pig. And he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in their right mind would build a house out of straw? Really? So of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, "Little pig, little pig, are you in?" And no answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar from my dear old granny's birthday cake. And that's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed. And I puffed. And I snuffed. Achoo! And I sneezed a great sneeze. Wow, that was quite the sneeze he had there. And you know what? That whole darn house of straw fell down. Right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole entire time. Well, it seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. I think you'd eat it too. I was feeling a little bit better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the neighbor's house, and that neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house out of sticks. I rang the doorbell on the stick house and nobody answered. I called, "Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in?" And he yelled back, "Go away, wolf! You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin." I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on, so I huffed, and I snuffed, and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great big sneeze. Achoo! And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. And when the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's dinner. Now, you know, food will spoil, and if you leave it out in the open, so I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was getting a little bit better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house, and this guy was the first and the second pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family, because he had built his house of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, let me in. And do you know what that rude little porker said to me? Get out of here, wolf, and don't bother me again. Well, talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't even give me one little cup for my dear sweet granny's birthday cake. Ugh, what a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I snuffed and I huffed and achoo! I sneezed again, and then the third little pig yelled, and your old granny can sit on a pin. Well, that was kind of rude, don't you think? Well, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course, I was trying to break down the pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing. Achoo, 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 achoo. Oh, it was really quite the scene. And the news reporters found out about the two little pigs I had for dinner, and they figured a sick guy going around pouring a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting, so they jazzed up the story with all of that huff and puff and blow your house down, and they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. The real story was I was framed. And maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar. I hope you enjoyed the story of the true story of the big bad wolf, Alexander T. Wolf, Al for short. Do you ever think that he actually got to make that cake for his dear old granny's birthday? I don't know. What do you think? I hope you enjoyed the story, boys and girls. I'll be back again to read you another great story. Have a good night. See you later, friends. Mwah. Bye.